name's Richi. I've been in Vietnam now 12 years. I came here to train bartenders, and now I'm a full-time artist, 100%. And you're in my studio. History, yeah. I mean, everything is historical. You know, it all comes back to the past, and what we're in now obviously becomes the past. And history is important to know where you come from, and it all comes into whatever you choose to do. So yeah, there's history in cocktails, you know. So this is an old recipe book from the 1950s. Again. They have different measures, different fashions, you know, because like bartending, you know, cocktails go in fashion, you know, according to the year. So it's interesting to see how people drink, you know, the style of drinks change, you know, just like people wearing different clothes change, you know. So they're part of history, and bartenders should really know, you know, 20, 30 classic cocktails. You know, to create modern cocktails, you have to know the classics, right? The same as playing musical instruments, play the classic songs. You know, to compose new songs, then you need to learn how to create the old ones. You know, it's the same as bartending. So I'd say, you know, every foundation, you know, for whatever you do has to have the classics in it. You know, and that definitely includes cocktails. Well, yeah, I mean, the recipes are important. You know, you've got to stick to the recipe. You know, for consistency. So if you start to make anything that involves ingredients from jam or, you know, salts and different kind of herbs and spices and fruits, etc. You know, the quantities of the syrups you use and the spirits, even the ice. You know, so but every one of those different ingredients, you know, has a quantity, you know, and you know, if you don't stick to the recipe, then you know, it's not going to taste the right way. So that's kind of I'm going to say, you know, setting a trend is more difficult than following a trend, you know. So it doesn't really matter too much if you know, you're not expressing you know, the latest idea in drinks, you know, and the way they're presented. But you know, if you can follow the recipe and follow the, you know, the trend, if you like, then, you know, you're still doing a good job. But you know, it's rare for, you know, people to cut through and move to a different direction in the way that you know, drinks are made and presented. But I mean, they usually stay around for a while. You know, say for example the highball, you know, right? So the highball sort of fashion, if you like, you know, started with the Japanese bartenders, you know, 5-10 years ago, and then was only recently, you know, caught on by the rest of the world, and now everyone's crazy about highballs, you know, with long ice and very minimum presentation. So it'll be a while before there's another trend going in another direction, you know. So, but it goes around in cycles. I just make up that name, actually, Bartist, because I'm sort of, let's say, bartender and artist, you know. So you know, it's a bit of a joke, you know, kind of name, if you like. But it combines everything to do with visual art, taste, flavor, presentation, the way you talk yourself to the people. You know, everything is expressing creativity. You know, so it's going from visually what the drink looks like and to what it tastes like, and the atmosphere you create by being yourself, you know. I was always drawing as a child, so I was always very happy just to be drawing and making pictures, you know. And since coming to Saigon, then I really started to draw a lot, yeah. Culturally, I mean, everything's different. I mean, from what I used to. And coming here was wow, you know, just everything was new and exciting and historical, you know. So again, coming to you know, Ho Chi Minh City, we used to be called Saigon, you know, the history of the city and the buildings that are here now, it made me, you know, really want to start to draw. Yeah. The architecture from the French here is very interesting. And there still is a lot left over, you know. There's still old buildings here, but I think the contrast between old and new is very interesting. There's more here than most other cities. Plus, also this is where I call home. So yeah, I like to draw home. I think the people on the street have changed a lot. I mean, there's a lot less street sellers. The cyclo, drivers. There's still some, but not as many as before. Certain buildings have disappeared as well. But I mean, it's part of change anyway. It's natural. I mean, I'm not sad for that. But developing is also part of becoming new again, and it means everything's evolving and moving forward. So, and that's good. And change is good. But not too much. So this tells the story of 10 years of change. 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, very small and using pencil, and I'm not very confident, and then gradually, as the years go by, I start to draw, with pen, bigger pictures, more detail, more people, and then, then they become really, really big. And then basically I just drew the whole city. It's like, when you write a diary and you write with words, about what you feel and how you see things and what happens, on that day. But instead of writing, then I drew a picture. So Negroni is a gin-based cocktail. Okay, it uses Campari and vermouth, Martini Rosso, classic cocktail. So it's an Italian cocktail. Negroni is a pre-dinner drink, and it has an interesting history. But I think it's also, it's a little bit bitter. It's a very acquired taste. So I think that's what I'm an acquired taste. Not everybody likes me, which is fine.